What is going on, everybody? I'm Rob Westerman III of GBP Daily, and thank you for tuning in to the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over social media at GBP Daily. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, throw a comment down in the comment section. I would really appreciate that. It really helps the channel be seen across YouTube. It is Wednesday, October 2nd. It is Hump Day. So happy Hump Day to all those who celebrate. We're a few days removed from the loss to Minnesota at home last weekend, and I typically like to turn the page on to the next week right around Tuesday-ish. And so if not for sure, then by Wednesday, similar to what the team does. So with that, we are 4 days removed, 4 days away, from the Packers Rams matchup out in Los Angeles. A chance to kind of rewrite the early going of this season with the Rams. They're missing Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua on the offensive side. Aaron Donald, who, has held things down as one of the better defensive players in the league, is no longer with the team as he retired last season. We all know that. They're missing some guys. They're hurt. They're missing their two starting guards, Steve Avila and Jonah Jackson, who are both on injured reserve. So they're injured. And you always like to go up against opponents when they're at full strength. But in the NFL, that's a rarity. So Chris in the chat, what's up, Rob? What's going on, man? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Matthew Stafford still at the helm. He can still sling it just as well as he's always been able to. Off to a little bit of a rough start, though. He's only got 2 touchdowns and then 2 picks to go along with that through the first 4 games. But as we know from the past, we always have seemed to be that get-right team or a team that quarterbacks just sling it all over the place against us on. Hopefully that's a different case this weekend because Matthew Stafford, a veteran, on the edge of probably being a Hall of Famer. We're used to playing against him during his days with the Detroit Lions, so we cannot let him sit back there and get comfortable and sling it around over our defense. We're still not sure about Jair Alexander's injury, whether he'll play, whether he won't this weekend. So we need him, but if he's not able to go, we're gonna need to play a lot better than what we did against Sam Darnold and Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and those guys last weekend. So let's hop in the chat here. Good to see everybody. Hope you're having a good Wednesday, a good start to your week. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Katrina over on Facebook. Thanks for hopping on, Katrina. Good morning, Rob. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you, Katrina. I appreciate you tuning in. Marcus, how is their pass rushing attack looking without their wide receivers? I'm assuming they'll try to run a decent amount. Marcus is referencing the Rams, obviously. Mason, is referencing the Rams. Mason, good to see you. Thanks for hopping in. Their lead back is Kyren Williams. Had a great year last year. Even when he was injured, I think he only played 12 games and still rushed for over 1,000 yards. Off to a little bit of a slow start, though, this year. 258 rushing yards he's got so far through 4 games. But he has scored a touchdown in every single game. So I'm sure they'll try and get it going early. But last week we did pretty solid against the run against Aaron Jones, only getting 93 yards on the ground against us. So hopefully this week we can do the same. I'm taking calls. Are you happy or disappointed with the 2-2 record that we've got at this point? Call me on the Nicolet Law hotline, 319-242-2332. Got the number on the screen. Give me a call. Join the show. I want to hear from you guys. Are you happy? You disappointed with where we're sitting right now? Give me a call. Join the show. Nicolet Law hotline. I've got the number on the screen. Taking calls now. Be a part of the show. I'd appreciate you. Eli, I would like to see a healthy dosage of Josh Jacobs this weekend. You and me both, Eli. Their defensive line isn't the same without Aaron Donald over there holding it down. As I mentioned earlier, he retired last year. Good news for us, bad news for the Rams. I do expect the Packers to get Josh Jacobs rolling early and hopefully that can open up some other aspects of the offense. The Rams right now rank 32nd in rushing yards allowed per game through the first 4 weeks. They're allowing just about 165 rushing yards per game. So zero excuses to not run all over these guys. Josh Jacobs, talked about it yesterday. We saw him sitting on the sidelines a little more than at least I would personally like to see. I love me some Emmanuel Wilson for sure, but every time Josh Jacobs touched the ball, it seemed like he was doing some good things. So give me a big dosage of Josh Jacobs this weekend against the Rams. We're due for another 150-yard rushing game from Josh, in my opinion. So, Mason, thank you for the comment. I appreciate you. Yosef, thoughts on Braden Narvison? Yeah, this has been a hot topic, hasn't it? Missed a 37-yarder last weekend. He also missed another kick, so 2 overall missed kicks last weekend. We lost by 2. The missed kicks are 6 points. You do the math. Even if you just would have made one of them, it seems like we would have had a decent chance to win that game, regardless of how much we went down in the first half. But unfortunately, Joseph, like your thoughts, my thoughts don't really impact their decision-making. Otherwise, I probably would have called up Mason Crosby to take back over. Somewhat kidding, but seriously, it's just ridiculous. It seems like we've knocked on every single door, every single kicking door this offseason. Drafting Anders Carlson last year, he's gone. Brought in Greg Joseph. He started off training camp really well and then fizzled out. He's gone. Brought in Braden Narvison, and he's been subpar so far through 4 games. And in the meantime, I hate to mention it, but Greg Joseph had went 5 for 5 on kicks last weekend. So, yeah, not the best situation. But LaFleur did say after the game on Sunday that he still has faith and confidence in Braden Narvison, which is interesting. You know, I'm not sure, I guess, what else I expect him to say. I don't expect him to ream him on a post-game press conference. Maybe there's some things that are being said behind closed doors that are a little bit different, a little more critical. I hope so, because, yeah, what he's done so far just isn't it isn't good enough. So one positive with Braden Narvison, he is hitting all of his extra points. So that's always been my biggest pet peeve, at least as far as last year's goes. Anders Carlson, it seemed like we'd go down, have a great offensive drive, and then Anders Carlson misses the extra point, kind of sucking the life out of the momentum there. But we'll see. I don't know. If he keeps missing kicks around 40-ish yards, then maybe we'll see some changes. But I think he will be our kicker for the foreseeable future. They did try out 2 kickers yesterday, but did not sign any kicker, or did not sign either of them. So we'll see. We'll just that'll probably be one of the main things we're monitoring as the weeks progress. But Cheeseheads in the chat, we need to fire our kicker. I can't believe we lost because of that. I agree with you as a point to where, you know, he missed 2 kicks and we lost by 2 points, and his 2 kicks obviously are 6 points. So yeah, he wasn't the only reason why we lost, but definitely one of the factors. And so it's disappointing. You hate to see games being won or lost, not necessarily 100% on the kicker, but, you know, in large part to him not doing his job. So not a good situation. I mean, it's one thing to miss the 47, but man, come on, the 37. Yeah, that 37-yarder, that was tough. And it just kind of set the tone of the game. The Vikings go down and score right off the bat. We drop a pick on that drive, and Lucas Van Ness doesn't get home on that same play for the sack, and then Isaiah McDuffie can't haul in the interception. Vikings end up going down and scoring. I always say it, drop picks lead to touchdowns, and that's exactly what happened. And then, boom, we go down, get into field goal range, and Narvison misses the 37-yard field goal. It kind of flashes me back to when we were playing the Falcons in the playoffs, and Mason Crosby missed that field goal after we went down 7-0. And yeah, not good flashbacks, that's for sure. So, Katrina, do you think we should have taken out Love and put in Willis? Love didn't look 100% healthy. Katrina, appreciate your question over on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. Katrina, I was getting close to feeling that way towards halftime. We saw him score. Jaden Reed had that nice catch. Jordan Love had the nice throw after that muffed punt recovery by Bo Melton right before the half. I think if we wouldn't have scored that touchdown and then didn't do anything on our first offensive drive, which we did receive the kick coming out of the half, did nothing with it, unfortunately, then yeah, maybe I would have sided on the fact that maybe put Malik Willis in and preserve Jordan. But after throwing that touchdown to Jaden Reed, he started to heat up pretty good. So I think he had 4 touchdown passes, right around 400 passing yards. He did have 3 interceptions, which were some boneheaded mistakes, of course. But I'm glad they let Jordan stay in there. If it would have got any worse, which it was pretty bad already, I could have understood putting Malik Willis in there and letting Jordan heal because I agree. He did not look 100%, but he was still making some pretty good throws. So Coach did say after the game he was sore, but nothing as far as re-aggravating the injury, anything along those lines, which is great news. You always love to see that. But, yeah, I get where that sentiment's coming from. He didn't look good right at the start. He was pretty rusty, but thankfully they held on and let him stay in there. Yeah, and he did start to heat up. So knock some of that rust off, which is good. We've got a pretty favorable stretch over these next 4 games. So I'm glad they let Jordan stay in there. Linda is in the chat. Good morning, grandson. Have a beautiful day. Good morning, Linda. Have yourself a great Wednesday. Mine's off to a great start. Got the workout in early this morning. Now chatting some Packers. Can't get much better than that. Thank you, Linda, for tuning in over on Facebook. Have yourself an awesome Wednesday. I'm sure I will be seeing you soon. Aiden over on Instagram. Where do you get your frames? The frames are from Michaels. They are the 16 by 20 shadow boxes. So a somewhat cheaper option as far as framing jerseys. So I always recommend those. They're good and they're cheap. So I think they're around $30-$40 a piece. But if you buy them in a 6-pack, which I understand not everybody needs 6 of them, price drops by like in half. So over on Michael's, Aiden, if you need the link, excuse me, Aiden, if you need the link to the frames, shoot me a DM. I'd be happy to send that over to you. Katrina, are you impressed with our record? We should definitely be 3-1. With all things considered, and I see another comment here that I'll read off quick before I get my answer. Haley is also in the house. She says, all things considered, I'm happy to be sitting at 2-2 through 4 games with everything that's happened so far this year. I think that's kind of where I'm at. That's a good way to look at it. A few weeks ago, we were wondering if Jordan Love was going to be missing, significant time or possibly the entire year. And now all of a sudden we're 2-2 after losing that first game. We didn't know what was going to happen with Malik Willis against the Colts. We didn't know what was going to happen with Malik Willis in the offense against the Titans. And somehow, some way, we got 2 wins out of those games. So, yeah, I mean, all things considered, that Vikings loss on Sunday didn't really affect me as much as division losses have in the past. So I thought we bounced back in the second half. We dang near came back from 28-0. We let up 3 points in the entire second half. Unfortunately, those 3 points came on that crucial drive right after we cut the deficit to 6. It was 28-22 with about 10 minutes left. And unfortunately, yeah, we let them go down pretty easily, in fact, to go down and then get a field goal where they extended that lead. And, yeah, we couldn't really do, we were still moving the ball and whatnot, but we didn't score until late and before we were kind of out of timeouts. had to get an onside kick afterwards, which, wasn't even close. I can't remember the last time we ourselves successfully got an onside kick. And I guess I can't really even remember overall in the NFL the last successful onside kick. The success rate for getting onside kicks are just, not very good. So, Katrina, I appreciate your question. Haley, appreciate your question as well. I do like where we're sitting. 2-2. Lost to the Vikings. They're a great team. Some people say they're the best team in the NFL, which I'm still kind of holding out as far as are they legit or not. They look legit against us. That's for sure. But they're stacking up wins, and that's all that matters. So, all right, let's get a fact of the day going here, shall we?
It's time for your Green Bay Packers Fact of the Day. Brought to you by TickPick. TickPick guarantees to have the lowest prices on Packers tickets. If you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, TickPick will give you 110% of your money back. If you want $20 off your next ticket order, use code Packers20 at checkout. That's Packers20. This promo code can only be used in the app, so make sure to download the TickPick app today.
All right, your Green Bay Packers fact of the day. It's a fun one. This Sunday, the Packers will be looking to beat the Rams in the state of California for the first time since December 18th, 1966. We know the Rams have moved a few times as far as location of their teams, but yes, we have not beat them in the state of California since way back in 1966, which is pretty wild to think about. Another fun fact to add on here, this weekend's matchup will be the 100th overall meeting between the Packers and the Rams. And the Packers currently hold a tight lead in the head-to-head matchups with a 50-47-2 record. Pretty evenly matched record there. So should be a good one this weekend. Both teams go way back. And you look at some of those pictures from that 1966 game, and yeah, just an absolute throwback. What else we got? Floor Boss on Instagram. Think Wicks picks it up and ends up being wide receiver 2. Well, with Christian Watson out, which we did receive some positive news on him yesterday as far as his ankle injury. It is a high ankle sprain. He's not expected to go on IR, which is good. And LaFleur says probably a week or so. So overall, good news. I know right away we were thinking maybe IR, which would have just been a tough blow. Might have made room for Devontae to come in, right? I kid. But yeah, with Wicks, he had some drops on Sunday, but he also had 2 touchdowns. So some of the throws that were being thrown his way weren't the best. And I know Coach echoed just that after the game. So I think once Jordan, which I think he did already in the second half, knocked some rust off, I think Dontavian Wicks, is due for another big game, another breakout game. No Christian Watson. Jaden Reed, I'm sure we can all agree, is our wide receiver 1. Romeo Doubs has been a little quiet this year. Has had some great catches and some great moments, but overall, haven't seen as much from him as I was expecting before the season started. So, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, and maybe some Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave. I think we'll be just A-okay in the passing game. Thank you for hopping on, man. I appreciate you. We need to trade Watson. He's way too injury prone. Katrina, I understand the frustration with his injuries. As you probably know and guess, there's nobody more disappointed in the injury and his career timeline than Christian Watson himself. When he is on the field, though, he is an insane playmaker, and we've seen it when he is out there. I think he still leads the draft class that he was drafted in touchdowns. I think that fact was about 2 weeks ago. So unless Romeo, who is also tied with him for most touchdowns in that draft, they're both drafted in the same draft, have overtaken him, then he still holds that record, which is crazy to think about with how many games that he's missed. So I'm not going to agree with you there though. As far as trading him, I think we got to keep riding him out. He's still on his rookie deal, and hopefully the injuries, which just seem to keep popping up, unfortunately, can fade away. But we'll see. Only time will tell. Big Grok over on Instagram. Do you think it would be good to trade for a kicker instead of the wire? Well, I'm not sure. The problem is I'm not sure if there's a kicker out there that we could trade for that would solve our problems, which is unfortunate. It's definitely not the right time to be going kicker shopping. But as I said earlier, unless Braden Narvison starts hitting all these 40-ish yard field goals, then that might be the case here moving forward. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for me today as far as the show goes. But as you know, the content never stops. I'm always posting anything Packers related all day long. So be sure to be following at GBP Daily on every social platform. And if you are not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at GBP Daily as well. It would mean a ton. I will be back and at it again tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you then. And until then, I will catch you guys later. Thank you.